You guys, look how pretty it is. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. What is goody, family? I did not vlog today. I have been really in a funky A mood. I'm on my period. I'm not loving life, and I'm just miserable. Okay, I've been perioding all over the place, and it's not a good day for me. So the TMI stuff I want to tell you, but I'm gonna just spare y'all. But y'all could just imagine when I say my period's bad, it's bad. But emotional check-in. I'm perioding. You can only guess how irritated, agitated, and aggravated I am right now. It's so annoying. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how annoyed I am at this point. So I've kind of been secluding myself in the room. Plus I've been really, really tired and drained for some reason, and all I've been wanting is chips. So yeah, right now Kimana is at her appointment, her therapy appointment. Taj is in the room. The dog's avoiding me for some reason. I don't know what the hell is going on with that. I'm not even about to put up medicine on him. I was gonna talk about forgiveness today, but I don't even know if I can entertain forgiveness right now. Like, I just don't even know. This is garlic water and honey, and it's supposed to be a tea that helps with circulation, and it's really nasty. Anyways, the question was like, how do you know that you have truly forgiven someone? I've been through things in like my life that I kind of move forward from people, but I don't know that I'm actually processing the feeling to know if I forgive that person or not. So that is the thing that made me wonder, like, how do you know if you really forgave? I know one of the things is it's not heavy on your heart anymore because you're releasing that feeling from you. You know what I mean? Like, you're just releasing and letting go of whatever it was, whatever the situation may be. Let me think of an example. All right. 3 years ago, me, my mom, and my sister had a falling out over taxes. Yeah. So my mom, she didn't really listen to my side of the story, right? And she listened to my sister. And so she got on me and she yelled at me and she cussed me out and she said some very hurtful things to me, very, very hurtful things to me. So I didn't talk to her for 4 months. Yeah, I know, right? From a person that talks to her mom daily. That was hard for me. I didn't get to see my nephew during that time either. Which, if you guys know, me and Nate were like this. That was hard. So, finally, I think it was around the anniversary of my grandfather's passing. It was coming up on his year anniversary. My littlest sister, who I still was in contact with, calls me and she's like trying to like just talk to me, and then my mom takes the phone from her. I feel like it was a whole setup, but whatever, right? And she's like, I want to talk to you and this and that, and then she was apologetic, she was crying, it was like a whole ordeal, right? And I felt really, really bad. Like, a lot of guilt set in because that's like, you know, a part of me that's really bad is my guilt, right? So we end up talking. I wanted to confront this issue. Like, we needed to talk because what the thing she was saying to me was not related to what was going on or what the situation was at all. So I was like, let's sit down and have a chit chat. So I aired out my feelings, and after I was done with that situation, I was done with that situation, and we've been great ever since. And I don't look back at it and I don't really think about it except for using it as this example, but I really hold no ill will to her or anything. I feel great that we had the conversation. I was able to air out my side, she was able to say her side, and it works for me, you know what I mean? But there's other situations. Let me see if I can find another example. Okay, here we go. This one is something I never addressed, okay? So I have a family member that I felt like was saying bad things about another family member, and I wasn't with the friction with that, right? So I just kind of like let them go. And I felt like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with them. Like, this was mad disrespectful. But this family member ended up calling me like a couple months down the line after we had not really spoke to one another, right? I never discussed the issue, but I also feel in my heart there's still that heaviness that's inside of me over this issue. I mean, they weren't coming from me exactly, at all, but it just was something that I felt in my heart, you know what I mean? So I wasn't really too happy with it. So we just started talking again. And no discussion, no, sitting down at the table and figuring things out. We just started talking again. And I don't feel in my heart that this is resolved. Now, my father, right? The last time I saw him, I believe I was 4 years old or 5 years old. I don't remember the exact circumstances in which our last meeting was, but I was very young. So I end up when I was 24. I had both my kids by the time I was 23. By 24, I was kind of like worrying a lot. I don't know where this worry came from, but I started worrying a lot about the other side of my family. Not them themselves, okay? It was what kind of ailments are on that side of the family. So I set out on this quest. I went to Entellus.com searching for my father. They gave me a list of all the people with his name in the, what was it? I think it was in the state. So it was 16 pages long. I look at this third number. Okay, this third number on this list. Didn't call the first one, didn't call the second one, looked at this third one. I highlight this third one. I decided to call all the ones around it because I'm like, I feel something about this third number. So I called number 1, I did like number 5, did like number 7, and then I was like, let me call number 3. Something is telling me about number 3. I call number 3 and it's him. We was cool. We had a few conversations and then he gets locked up again. My father sold drugs and he had women working for him, and he dabbled in some things himself. He got in a lot of trouble. He was probably not a good role model, you know what I'm saying? But he got in trouble. He sent me this list of all his charges, and I was like, no, no, okay, because I'm raised with my dad. My dad is totally, well, my dad is just, he has a very different standard, right? My dad is just totally different. So I'm raised differently because I was raised with my dad and my mom and not him. He gets in trouble and I told him like, yo, I can't have this in my life. I have 2 young kids. Like, I don't want you around them. If you're not going to straighten up your life, you need to be acting like a grandfather, okay? So I cut him off for about 3 to 4 years. You come back when you're done with that life, you know what I'm saying? So from 24 to 29, we didn't talk because he was in and out of jail still. He sold to an undercover and all kinds of bullshit. And then he was like, he called me, which I'm pretty, like, it was weird because I changed my phone number a lot, y'all. I'm one of those people. When the bill collectors call and they start calling a lot, I'm like, I'm done with you, just like new number. Anyways, I haven't done it in a minute. The last time I changed my phone number was, I didn't change my phone number. Actually, it was over that 4 months that I had just told you about. The 4 months I didn't talk to my family. I knew my mom was going to call and leave like crazy messages, so I changed my phone number. And that was the last time I had changed it. So it's been 4 years, 4 years ago since I changed my phone number. But before then, girl, I was changing my number every day. Anyways, that number I had for a minute though. That was like one of my longest numbers. It was my favorite freaking phone number ever. And I'm sad that it had to go. I miss you. I'm talking to you number. Anyways, the last 2 numbers are the same. Oh, anyways, I was saying, oh, I don't know how he, if my number apparently stayed the same or something, because he was able to contact me. He got a long talk with me, and we squashed everything. Like, I didn't hold anything against him. I wasn't mad at him or nothing. And I knew I truly forgave him because, like, that, all the stuff that I remember being mad at him about was no longer an issue for me. Even though, like, when I would talk to my mom, it kind of would trigger something in me to make me upset. You know what I'm saying? But I never brought it up to him, and I let it go. And we went on. Uh-oh, are you okay? He's got acid reflux like his mama. And we went on to develop this really cool relationship. The effed up part about it is I still haven't built up a nerve to go see him yet, and it's been 10 years since we've been talking, but I haven't built up that nerve yet. And I told him by the end of this year, which is like tomorrow, I was gonna build up that nerve. All right, so developing the relationship with my father helped me to learn about forgiveness, because I had to open myself up to the idea of forgiveness so that I can develop a relationship with him. There's like a situation that weighs heavy on your heart, heavy on your mind, whether it be a family member, a friend, a relationship, make sure that you fully feel like you forgive that person, because you don't want to walk around with resentment on your heart because you haven't fully forgiven them. You don't want to be harboring some resentment. So like, you say that you forgive the person, but you're steady thinking about it and you're bringing it up constantly, then you know that you really haven't forgiven them. Because let me tell you, there's be some things like there will be some like a situation where my husband does something and I'll bring up something from like way back when, which lets you know it's a very unresolved issue. I can't give you an example right now, but it'd be wild, and I know it's wild. Like, he'll be like not taking out the trash, and I'll be like, that's why when da 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 happened, and I'm like, clearly I'm not over this. So I have to work on myself and my forgiveness, because I do have a hard time with it. I'm not gonna lie. It's just that when there's not an action behind the forgiveness, you know what I mean? It just makes it hard. So make sure that you are in your heart honest with yourself, because you cannot in good faith move forward with somebody if you haven't forgiven them. So let's say you guys had an issue and you want to just move past it. It's something that you're like ignoring your feelings. You're not really moving past anything. You're just ignoring the feelings so that you can just get back to where you were. But the thing is, when somebody like misuses your trust or something, abuses your trust, it's hard to get right back to where you were, no matter if you're trying to intentionally just be how you were prior to whatever the situation was. It's hard to get back to that point. So you just really might as well do the work and figure out how to forgive the person, and then you need to really leave it in the past. So my thing is, like, how do you know if you really forgave somebody? It's no longer a part of your like present existence. It no longer has any hold on your present life. What happened in the past is actually in the past, and you no longer bring those things up anymore, and they no longer hold relevance in your life. It is something for you to learn from, yes, but it's not something that you should hold on to, because like they say, what is that saying they have where you're taking like anger is like, I can't remember how to say it right now, but it's like you taking the poison but expecting the other person to die. You know what I mean? So it just builds up inside of you. It creates illness, it creates unhappiness and all kinds of stuff. So it's just better for you to be able to fully forgive, but also acknowledge if you don't. Like, you really have to be fully aware if you're not forgiving the person, because it breeds resentment, and I'm queen resentment, let me tell you. So you have to really know if you fully forgiven somebody, but also that person needs to work within your parameters. I see on a lot of shows, like after a person cheats, for instance, they say that the person that cheated should open themselves up to whatever the other partner feels comfortable with. So like having full access to their phone if that makes them feel comfortable, like being able to know their whereabouts or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So if you're really working on that, then you guys have to come to the conclusion on what is going to help you forgive. So, and sometimes there's people in your life that you're never going to get that apology from, and you just have to come to terms with it. You know what I mean? But if it's somebody that's actively in your life and you want to have that relationship with, I really feel like you should discuss it and figure out a way where you feel comfortable and they feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Getting to that point of forgiveness and not being afraid to say that I'm just not there yet, and that's totally fine, because forgiveness is not something that happens overnight. It's not something that the other person should be like, you know, is it done yet, because it's a process. You know, when you abuse somebody's trust, and it doesn't just come back overnight. And if somebody says that it does and like, I trust you now, they're lying, and there's a lot of resentment underneath that they're gonna have to work through in order to get to that space. And it's a lot of work on the person that's forgiving's end, but it's also a lot of work on the person who did, you know, hurt the person's, you know, side too. So it's on both sides that a lot of work has to be done. But for me, as the person that needs to forgive, there's a lot of work that I need to do because I'm not good at it. I have a hard time with it. So I have to be honest with myself about things. I'm not very honest because I just want to move forward. Like, please, I just want to be done. But that's my thing on forgiveness. It was just on my heart because I was thinking about all of my relationships and things that I'm not being honest about in relationships, and forgiveness is one of those things. And again, guilt is one of those things. So I'm just trying to work on myself right now and figure me out and see where I need to change things, tweak things. And right now it's a whole process of growth that I'm trying to go through, and it's hard, you guys. Like, it's really, 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 really hard to face yourself in the mirror and look at your shortcomings and see where you need to tweak things. But on the other side of the coin, it's going to help you develop and become this like way better person that is more self-aware of how things affect you if you're not spending time ignoring your feelings to make people around you feel better, because that's what I do. I can't speak for everyone, but that's what I do. I'm too much aware of other people's comfort and not enough aware of my own. Get what I'm saying? So yeah, my battery's dying. I'm scared it's gonna cut off on you guys, so I'm going to end this here. I would love to pick up the discussion with you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, I will see you in the next video. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. I really would appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. And it was raining for 5 minutes and it's over here, so I'm sad, but the breeze is still bomb. But I hope you have a wonderful night, wonderful day, a wonderful morning. Did I emotionally check in with you guys? I think I said I was perioding, so I was tired. But yeah, emotionally check in. Let me know how you guys are doing. Tell me what you're working on to make yourself a better person, because that is, you know, the goal here at the end of the day, is that we're just all trying to be better people. And I love you guys so much. Thanks so much, and I will talk to you again in the next video.